I got a shout out right
You-
now. I'm doing pre-orders for an amazing um, New Zealand-based sci-fi fantasy artist named Drawnsword, and 32 pages, dark concept art book, printed in New Zealand, signed and numbered. We're trying to get 50 copies to the U.S. to cut down on shipping. So the pre-orders really help us out. And if you are familiar with my Crom the Barbarian, Drawnsword was one of five guest artists I had that did the Virgin cover for this 140 page black and white Sword and Sorcery magazine size goodness I just put together and released in August of this year. Um, this is the back. It's a wraparound cover for Scoundrels Dread. I do not have a physical copy, obviously, because the shipping is so darn expensive just to ship one copy. But you can get over to cromthebarbarian.com and pre-order. There's $1 off right now. Cromthebarbarian.com. Cromthebarbarian, one word.com. And you can find out a little bit more. My channel is also called cromthebarbarian.com. And as a matter of fact, Friday night, Drawnsword and I got together and we did a live hangout. This uh, is really exciting as a first release since mid '90s that Drawnsword had anything here in the United States. So Scoundrels Dread is really like a primer for the comic book that he's currently working on right now, which is about bounty hunters, intergalactic bounty hunters, and their preys on these just wild, crazy worlds and everything. So please, once again, if this is something that strikes your fancy, these are pencil drawings, A4 size to A4 printing. So you're really getting an amazing amount of like detail, but like also just
Yeah.
the worlds themselves are just crazy. So would love to get
Yeah.
support and thank you very much for your support if you've already done the pre-ordering. So
Yeah, great artist. I love the style. It reminds me kind of like some underground artists, and that remember that insane comic that I found that was like Barbarian Tales or something, and uh, just kind of like a throwback style, really cool style. And
it's
so your
great.
involvement is that you're just helping him promote.
Yeah, and distribute the book through cromthebarbarian.com. So the biggest thing is the cutting down on shipping in the US because he's in New Zealand, and then therefore, it's just, I think it's like $17 to ship something from New Zealand to the United States. And it's just the cost effectiveness just kills any sales that way. So right now in the U.S., I ship at $7, and also you have the opportunity just for a limited week. We've turned on the opportunity that you can also add a Drawnsword cover for Crom Collected to your order. So yeah, and
So you're
and I'm
doing
working with it. Go ahead.
you're doing local printing.
No, he's already printed it. It's been printed in New Zealand at 100 copies. We're trying to get 50 copies, and in order to make that happen, we need to get 30 copies pre-ordered.
So you're trying to get it where he can send you a batch all at once and cut down on the
Yes,
shipping.
yes, yeah,
Ah, got it. Okay.
yeah.
Right. And
So
then have you discussed you haven't discussed local printing because he wants to limit this to 100?
we have he has his approach that he's figuring out. He had a very specific idea of how he wanted the look and feel of the book, and then had a printer locally to work with in New Zealand. So if he was in the United States and had this printer that really gave the book the feeling that he really wanted, it'd be a cheap book, and of course it would be cheap to ship within the U.S. But since it's in New Zealand, printed in New Zealand, there's the extra cost of shipping the books, and then to me in the United States, and then reshipping the books
Got it.
distribution to people in the United
Got
States.
it.
So, but
Yeah.
we will be discussing alternatives, because he's working on an amazing project right now, comic book wise, which I would love to see, out and about here in the U.S.
Yeah. So
affordably.
that's really real interesting. There's a lot of options. I don't know if he, I guess he, for 100, I guess you don't print offset at that point. So he probably
No,
just has a digital printer that he really worked with closely to get a specific result. Um, but there's a lot of models, and you can see Kurt here is branching out into distribution a little bit. It's also possible to talk about serialization, right, of existing material, and putting together anthologies. We're going to have more on that coming up. But yeah, go on to cromthebarbarian.com if you want to check out that, plus the Crom material that Kurt has already been releasing a couple weeks ago.